In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on October 23, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Milwaukee Bucks versus Philadelphia 76ers. The Milwaukee Bucks kick off their 2024-2025 campaign with an exciting road matchup against the Philadelphia 76ers at the Wells Fargo Center on Wednesday evening. This contest marks the start of their 4-game regular season series, offering an early test for both Eastern Conference rivals. The Bucks wrapped up the previous season with a solid 49-33 record, finishing 3rd in the East, but their playoff run was cut short in the first round after a 6-game battle with the Indiana Pacers. On the other hand, the 76ers ended the regular season 7th in the conference with a 47-35 record, and were also eliminated in the opening round by the New York Knicks in a tough 6-game series. With new challenges ahead, this game presents an opportunity for both teams to assess where they stand early in the season. Both teams will be shorthanded for this season opener, with some key players sidelined. The Bucks are likely to be without Khris Middleton, who is still recovering from an ankle injury, leaving a hole in their rotation. Meanwhile, the 76ers will have to cope without their star center Joel Embiid and offseason acquisition Paul George, who are unavailable for this game. Philadelphia made some significant moves during the offseason to bolster their roster, and this game provides an early opportunity to test those new additions. However, meshing new talent into the lineup while facing a well-established team like Milwaukee is no easy task. The absence of Embiid and George places additional pressure on the 76ers, though they'll rely heavily on Tyrese Maxey's playmaking to keep things competitive. Maxey has shown the potential to step up as the team's primary scorer, but leading the charge without 2 stars this early in the season presents a steep challenge. Players are still finding their rhythm, and it might take some time before the 76ers are firing on all cylinders. In contrast, the Bucks are nearly at full strength, and there is still a possibility that Middleton could suit up for this matchup. With Giannis Antetokounmpo anchoring the team, the Bucks are in a strong position to dominate, especially in the paint, where the absence of Embiid could leave the 76ers vulnerable. Additionally, the Bucks will be eager to bounce back this season, and Damian Lillard's arrival should only add to their offensive firepower. While the 76ers have the potential to pull off an upset, the Bucks should be able to capitalize on their continuity and experience to start the season with a win. So the Milwaukee Bucks to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Philadelphia struggled offensively last season, ranking just 14th in the NBA in points per game. However, with the addition of shooters like Kenyon Martin Jr. and Eric Gordon, along with the eventual inclusion of Paul George, their offense is expected to improve. Maxey, now in his 2nd year as the team's full-time point guard, will be tasked with pushing the tempo and elevating the 76ers' pace of play, which was just 18th in the league last season. On the other side, the Bucks were an offensive juggernaut, finishing 3rd in scoring last season, and they'll likely be even more potent with Lillard in the lineup. However, Lillard's presence could also present defensive challenges, as the Bucks struggled on that end last season, ranking 21st in points allowed per game. Additionally, Milwaukee finished 13th in pace, suggesting they are comfortable playing at a faster tempo. Given the early season context, it's unlikely either team will play with playoff-level defensive intensity, allowing the offenses to shine. With key players missing and both teams emphasizing offensive improvements, this game has the potential to be a high-scoring affair. The conditions are favorable for a fast-paced, open-court style of play. Expect both teams to rely heavily on their offensive strengths, creating an entertaining, high-scoring opener that sets the tone for what could be an exciting season ahead. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Orlando Magic versus Miami Heat. The 2024-2025 NBA season kicks off with a matchup between 2 Southeast Division rivals as the Orlando Magic travel to face the Miami Heat in South Beach on Wednesday night. Orlando is coming off a strong season, finishing with a 47-35 record to claim the Southeast Division title and securing the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. However, their postseason run ended in heartbreak with a 7-game series loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round. Miami finished last season with a 46-36 record and earned the final playoff spot in the East by defeating the Chicago Bulls 112-91 in the play-in tournament. Unfortunately for the Heat, their postseason stay was short-lived as they fell to the Boston Celtics in 5 games. In the all-time series between these two teams, Miami holds a 79-59 advantage. The Heat won 3 out of 4 meetings last season, including a commanding 121-95 victory at home on February 6, 2024. Miami has built a significant home court advantage over Orlando, winning their last 9 home games against the Magic. In the 2023-2024 season, the Heat posted a solid 22-9 record as home favorites, showing they know how to handle business when expected to win. Both teams rely heavily on their defenses, but Orlando's addition of Kentavious Caldwell-Pope might not be enough to crack Miami's system. Jimmy Butler, who could enter free agency after this season, has every reason to deliver his best performances in pursuit of a new contract. The matchup between Butler and Caldwell-Pope could cancel out each other's impact, leaving the rest of the roster to decide the outcome. As history has shown, Miami tends to perform well at home against Orlando, and there's little reason to believe this trend will change on opening night. Both teams have retained most of their core players from last season, giving them a continuity edge over other Eastern Conference teams that underwent significant roster changes. The Magic's young roster gained valuable playoff experience, which should benefit their development, provided they can avoid injuries. Miami remains a veteran-heavy team with established leaders like Butler, Bam Adebayo, and Tyler Herro under the guidance of head coach Eric Spoelstra. The Heat will aim to improve on their inconsistent 22-19 home record from last season, banking on their experience to provide more consistency. While Orlando's young roster is showing promise, Miami's combination of talent and leadership still makes them the more complete team. The Heat have taken 7 of their last 10 games against the Magic, reinforcing their dominance in this rivalry. Although the Magic's future looks bright, Miami remains a playoff-caliber team with multiple star-level players, giving them the edge. So the Miami Heat to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full-game side pick. The stats from last season also suggest a lower-scoring game. Orlando went under the total in 44 of their 82 games, with 1 push, largely due to their struggles with turnovers and slow pace. They averaged 14.7 turnovers per game, placing them 24th in the league, and ranked 25th in pace with just 96.9 possessions per contest. Miami also had a tendency to play slower, with the under hitting in 47 of their 82 games. The Heat were more efficient with the ball, averaging 12.7 turnovers per game, which ranked them 6th in the league, but they played at one of the slowest tempos, ranking 29th with 96.2 possessions per game. In their meetings last season, the two teams combined for totals of 221, 195, 192, and 216 points, further supporting the likelihood of a low-scoring affair. Given the defensive strengths of both teams and the slower tempo they favor, the season opener is expected to follow a similar pattern. With both squads emphasizing defense and continuity, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Context: it's unlikely either team will play with playoff-level defensive intensity, allowing the offenses to shine. With key players missing and both teams emphasizing offensive improvements, this game has the potential to be a high-scoring affair. The conditions are favorable for a fast-paced, open-court style of play. Expect both teams to rely heavily on their offensive strengths, creating an entertaining, high-scoring opener that sets the tone for what could be an exciting season ahead. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Chicago Bulls versus New Orleans Pelicans. The Chicago Bulls, who finished last season with a 39-43 record, will begin their 2024-2025 campaign with a road matchup against the New Orleans Pelicans, who posted a 49-33 mark last year. This game, set to take place at the Smoothie King Center on Wednesday night, marks the first of 2 regular season meetings between these two teams. Interestingly, Chicago managed to sweep the season series against New Orleans last year, despite entering both contests contests as the underdog. The big question heading into this matchup is whether the Bulls can extend their winning streak against the Pelicans to 3 games, or if New Orleans will be motivated to reclaim bragging rights and start their season with a statement win on their home floor. One of the more intriguing elements of this matchup is the absence of a traditional starting center for the Pelicans. While this may seem like a disadvantage, it plays into their favor given that Chicago's starting center, Nikola Vucevic, is known for operating on the perimeter rather than dominating inside the paint. This will allow the Pelicans some breathing room defensively, as they won't need to focus on shutting down a traditional post presence. Meanwhile, the Bulls are still searching for a new offensive identity under head coach Billy Donovan, and it's unlikely that they'll find a rhythm right out of the gate in this season opener. In contrast, New Orleans' offense is poised to perform at a high level. Last season, they were among the most effective three-point shooting teams in the NBA, while the Bulls struggled mightily to defend the perimeter. The absence of Alex Caruso, one of Chicago's top defenders, will be particularly detrimental against a Pelicans squad that thrives on spacing the floor. With a more talented roster, better continuity, and the advantage of playing at home, New Orleans looks well positioned to cruise to a comfortable victory in their first game of the season. The Bulls enter this season with something to prove after several years of mediocrity. Hovering around the middle of the Eastern Conference standings, they made no significant roster upgrades in the offseason, and several key players are still subjects of trade speculation, creating uncertainty within the team. In contrast, the Pelicans are widely regarded as a sleeper team with legitimate playoff aspirations, provided they can stay healthy. The core of Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, and C.J. McCollum gives New Orleans the potential to be a dangerous contender if injuries don't derail their progress. Given these dynamics, my confidence lies more with the Pelicans, so the New Orleans Pelicans to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. While both teams have notable weaknesses on the defensive end, their shortcomings are distinct. New Orleans' biggest flaw lies in the interior. Last season, they struggled to protect the rim, and with a thinner frontcourt this year, they are likely to encounter similar challenges. Their rebounding prowess is also expected to decline, which could create opportunities for the Bulls, who were among the NBA's stronger offensive rebounding teams last season. Chicago should be able to generate plenty of second chance points and score consistently in the paint. If the Pelicans' defense collapses to clog the lane, the Bulls could find open looks from beyond the arc, creating a more dynamic offensive attack. On the flip side, Chicago's defense is vulnerable against perimeter-oriented teams, and the Pelicans are well equipped to take advantage. New Orleans ranked 4th in the NBA in three-point shooting efficiency last season, which spells trouble for the Bulls, who have struggled to limit opponents from deep. Additionally, the Pelicans excel at drawing fouls and getting to the free throw line, ranking 9th in free throw attempts per game last season. Chicago, on the other hand, was below average in preventing trips to the line, ranking 18th in defensive free throw rate. The Pelicans should be able to pick up easy points at the charity stripe, further bolstering their offensive output. Notably, 8 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams have fallen under the total, suggesting that a low-scoring trend may continue, though it is not guaranteed. If Chicago attempts to play at a faster tempo to jumpstart their offense, it could leave them even more vulnerable on the defensive end. Both teams had their fair share of issues defending the perimeter last season, which may result in a high-scoring affair. Additionally, with New Orleans' ability to attack the paint and draw fouls, the clock will frequently stop for free throws, creating more opportunities to rack up points. Although the historical trend leans toward lower-scoring matchups between these two teams, the circumstances surrounding this game point in the opposite direction. Given the weaknesses on defense and the potential for a high volume of free throws, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.